Okay, so here we are in part 2, and we've made our flower, and next we need to make the little swirly thing, as I would call it. Has a ball, wraps around, comes over that way. Here it is in this viewport right here. Okay, so we come over here, and here's the setup for it. Start out with a circle, like so. Okay, let me use a different color here. It shows up better. I used blue in that whole other video, but okay. At that point, oh, let's turn on red, was it? Purple? Orange? Looks like I'm missing a curve. Oh well, that's alright. Oh, there it is, show. Okay, there's this side as well. We use the Nautilus Builder, the infamous Nautilus Builder. And in 6 it looks a little different, but it's the same functionality. So we put this curve in the circle there, in this box there. And then here's the number of steps. Alright, so let's take a look at this. That's number of steps, so that's how far around it goes. And then of course here's the rotation, and we're going to need to flip this, so let's hit flip, like so. And then here's the scale. Alright, so now let's move back in here so we can actually see what we're doing. So here's rotation. So we want that to, let's go full screen here. We want to start right about in here, so right there, and number of steps is going to come up and around, although I believe I went ahead and cut it at some point. So there's that. Okay, and we'll go ahead and apply that one, and then we're going to make another one. So we put that in again, and our scale's going to come down like so, like that, and we apply that one. And then I went ahead and made, so I didn't change anything but the scale on that. So then we make a line here, and another line here, kind of like so, I guess. And then go figure, we blend from here to here, and we blend from here to here. And I'm real happy with that one, I guess, as happy as you can be about a line like that. There we go. So that, it depends on what shape you want. This one I wanted it to turn quicker, so you would move the line. If we move the line down over here, then when you blend, it would go quicker. Well, there's really quick, but you get the idea. So there's how that was made, and we'll join that, and join this. Okay, so next we need to go ahead and make the profile that is going to go ahead and sweep these. So these are all joined together. Yep, okay. So let's see here. This profile is right here, and here's how I made it. It's very similar to the other one. We go arc direction, and then we simply mirror that from some point like that. And then you can do this one of two ways. It's a straight line across here, and then of course you can fill it. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll go fill it, join. There's a new command. Where is it? fillet corners right here. It's one of my new favorite commands. You click this, you go fillet corners, radius, let's go 0.1, and wherever it finds a hard break, it'll fillet them all. Okay, let's undo that and do a larger radius. So fillet corners, 0.25, and boom, it does them all. So if you have, I mean, here's a little break in the action, and as long as there's hard edges, fillet corners, whoop, so quick, it's very quick. Okay, so there's that, and then we want to locate this orient 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Now I know from doing this before that we want a profile somewhere in here, perpendicular would be good. So I know we want that. Oh, I said I was going to use a different color, didn't I? Okay, so there's that. And if you look at this shape, where's a good place to do that? It goes up, dips in for this mill grain here, or whatever these little shapes are, and then it goes back up again. But as it comes down, it fizzles out and gets solid. Okay, so based on that, then we're going to do a arc direction down in here where it fizzles out. Let's go near, and ortho straight up. So we didn't need to orient that one, we could just simply draw it. Okay, when I first did this one, let's switch to, I did sweep 2, 1, 2, and I just did here and here, and I thought, well, it'll fade out. And it didn't stay deep as long as I wanted it to. Okay, so it canceled there, and that's why this one is here. So now we go sweep 2. It didn't have this indent for as long as I wanted. Like so. And I will say the other time I also made this, if you watch, I'll sweep my original one, but there's what we're looking for. When I swept this one, sweep 2, the number of points along the surface were off more than this one was, and you get this business here where it starts to correspond points. It's going here to here, here to here, here, and then you can see it gets off. Well, that's what slash is for. So if we add a slash from like here to here, that makes the points correspond to each other, and it will fix it. Slash is very cool. So there's that fixed. At that point, I could have done this all in one sweep if you use the point command as well. Sweep 2, I'll work on this one again here. Go from U to U to U and end at a point. And that point is right there. So you can do that all in one sweep if you want. I don't see anything wrong with that, so no slash needed on that one. And there's how that was made. Okay. Okay, so there's that part, and we go to solid and sphere, and oops, I'll work over here. Let's go to the center of here, and we basically want that to hit that edge, and then we go to transform 1D scale. Oh, no, stop. Sorry. Center, there we go, and down and up, something like that. And we might even take the time to kind of rotate this down a little bit so it matches that angle. So there we go. There's our little swirly deal. Seems to be very similar to how they've built theirs. And then we do extract an ISO curve. Extract ISO curve. Actually, if you notice, whenever this happens to me, this thing got made up out of surfaces. You can see it's a polysurface surface. Why, I don't really know, but I'm not going to worry about it. There's a true edge right down the middle, so I'm not going to worry about extracting an ISO curve. I'm going to come over here to dupe edge and click right on the edge that I want to dupe, which happens to be right in the middle. So there you go. So we'll put that on red, and the command I want is F6 milgrain. And these are not uniformed. It's a taper. This you wouldn't be able to do in 5.4. You'd have to get this one. Let's pull this around like so. And this size is bigger. And we'll move this over here. It's a little too big. Okay, spacing a little closer together there. Those seem to almost touch. This is a little small. Something like that, maybe. And enter. So there's that. It looks like in the picture that there might be some more milgrain here or something. I can't, it's pretty worn off. So you could certainly do that some more all along here. I just didn't bother on my model. Wasn't really the point. Okay, so there's how we made the flower, and there's how we made this section. Oh, and I will say, I think eventually I went ahead and closed the back end of this later on as I was making this model. And so let's go ahead and try to blend. I think this blew up in my face when I tried to do it before. So there's one surface of a blend. Enter. There's the other surface edge of the blend. And that looks pretty good. That's going to... Okay, now unfortunately, in blend, there's no slash. Okay? So we can't fix this, really. So what I like to do is I go, well, okay, blend gave me a really good profile, so we'll go curve dupe edge, and we'll dupe this edge, and then we'll nuke this one. Okay, and then we'll use a command that will work, so sweep 2, curve is fine, and there's that. And then we'll let that run down there. And we'll simply add slashes to fix it. So, there we go. There's slash. So join that. Okay. So there's how the back of that got closed up. And we can, like cap this or patch it, maybe patches. Well, the first thing I always do is just click it and go, hey, cap planar. And it goes, hey, I can't. So then we resort to patching, and that's fine. In this case, that's just fine. Okay. So if you recall, what we do, and I'll turn on the orange, is curve, create UV curves. Right here's a prompt, select curves on surface, so I just hit enter. And there is that surface laid out flat. And flow requires a backbone surface. So we've got this curve and we've got this curve. There's two different curves there. I select this curve and I hit explode. And then I go surface sweep to, and I sweep this line, and then this curve, and this curve, and we sweep that in a direction that represents the way this one's laid out. This one's going from here around this way, so we sweep this one from here this way. We would not sweep it this way. That would be exactly wrong. Okay. Then, wherever we have the shapes that we want up on the ring, we put them down here. And so I'm going to use this orange one because it's all lined up already. But we put the flower here in the center because it goes to the center, and then I locate this thing over here as it goes up and corresponds with the ring itself. Okay. Now, let's go back, and I really want to kind of hammer this point home because this is the whole key of how these work. Let's see, that's grouped. That's good. We'll go ahead and take this one and put it up over here. There. Now, the relationship to this surface is the relationship that this is going to go up onto the surface with. So if we want this a bit higher, then we would move it up higher so it would stick out more. So that relationship, of course, if we turn on history, we can still change it later anyway. All right, now here's the point that I wanted to make. Let's go ahead, and the reason I had this plane out here was just to show. Let's go F4 to F4, and let's hit explode on this thing. It is, and it gets split by these two. Alright, because I really didn't need this. Alright, now here's this surface, the way it was made before. And hopefully this will do the same thing. Sometimes when I do movies, they don't do what they did as I was making it. That made me go through all this other work. Yeah, here's the layout of this ring. Hole in the finger right here. Shank comes back around to half the hole here and half the hole here. Okay, so this shape where it stopped right here is this. This extra space is because I trimmed it. So the next thing you need to know is that if you do that, you can always come here and go to surface and go to shrink trimmed surface right here. Okay, now when we go to create UV curves, you can see that this is the same now this box right here and this box are essentially the same footprint because it's been shrunk. Yay. Okay, now let's go ahead and explode this one and go sweep 2, 1, 2, and then we'll go there to there. Alright, so now we have our surface. Okay, let's just bring something out here super quick, and I always do text because it's really easy to see what you're doing with text. Alright, so here we have some letters. Okay, and we want these to, we'll rotate this. And I'm going to put this right over the center of the hole on one side of the ring. So now let's look at our history. History record equals yes. And this is Rhino history, not matrix. So there's history is on. I select these objects like so. And the command is a transform command, and it is flow along surface. Or you can find it right here, or you can type flow along. Alright, so, that button doesn't work. Flow along surface. You know why? It's going to be flow along surf. Guess I better put that on the bug list. Okay, base surface. Select near a corner. Let's go up here and pick this corner. And then let's go over here. Oh, let's turn off blue. And then there. And it puts it there. So I couldn't figure it out really. The way this surface was made and the way it went up there, I sat and put this thing all over the place, and I'm sure there's a method to some madness along here. So I don't know. I just started moving it all over the place. This corner goes to this corner, and it's like, where's it going to go this time? Hey, that made sense. So anyway, that surface is not very developable, and I am done with it. I do not want to work with that anymore. So, we come back to our original one though, which was right here. I'm going to put this, I'm going to nuke it too, and purple was my original one. Alright, so let's do this again though. There's that. And you can see how easy it is to line up. We can go flow along. And here's the backbone surface, and it relates to that corner. And there it is. It is right on up there. Now, here's something else to think about. Let's turn this off. As this goes up there, it's definitely mapping to this surface. So we are getting a little bit of rippling in here, but it's not too awful bad. What we can do now is we can come over and 2D scale this with history on. And then if you watch over here, sure enough, in a second here, it'll change. There you go. That's the beauty of history and the whole flow thing. Okay, here's something else to think about. All right, so we have this, and these are getting messed up as they come around these hard corners like so. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and delete that, and there's no reason that says we can't do this. We can extract an ISO curve. Oh yeah, once again that's still an edge, so we'll go over here and we'll go dupe edge and put that on something bright, and we can certainly do F6 Milgrain, and if we do that right up here on there, then they don't get messed up. Now we can adjust them accordingly. Also, if we didn't do that this way, we can check this out. There's a command. We could do these separately also, not to give you too much to think about, but rigid equals no, which means that it's going to map to everything. Now these are grouped. These all selected by just clicking one. So if I say rigid equals yes, then what happens is that when we put this up there, oh, it didn't matter in the group. That's good. It doesn't squish them because they're rigid. They keep their shape, and it just locates the center along the line, and what you see is what you get. Okay? I thought I might have to explode them, but Flow went inside the group and flowed them. So with rigid on, these don't get messed up. So there you go. That was the rigid. If you do, let's do this as a example then, because that didn't work what I wanted to show you. If we do flow along surf again with rigid equals yes, and we do here and we do here, then what it does is it goes, okay, where's the center of this? There it is. Where is it tangent to the surface? Right there. And it puts it on. And again, the group didn't care, but this being one surface did care. So it's rigid. It did not change, but it did locate where it was going to be. So that's no good. Those didn't matter. Okay. So now as you can see, let's get rid of these. We've built, we've placed our flower up here. Let's just get rid of this. We've placed our flower up here. We've created this and put it up and located it up here. And we still have our base surface. The next thing that we need to do is create the lattice work. Okay? And here is the lattice work. That was easy. It's just like those cooking shows, you know. It's like they have this pan of something, and then they stick it down underneath the counter, and they pull it out, and it's already been cooked, and it's like, well, there it is. Anyway. To evenly space this, we're just going to do this. We're just going to go curve, make a polyline. It's like, okay, well, how much space do I want between these? Well, let's go to transform. Here's array, just flat out plain old array. Number in the x direction, I don't know, 12. Y direction 1, Z 1. Here's the spacing. Let's go 4 millimeters apart. Okay. That was certainly playing. Now, in Rhino 4, they give you the chance. It's not over yet. You're like, ah, man, I didn't want that. Well, that's cool. You can just go, oh, you only needed 8 of them. you know, or no, okay, now I only needed 7 of them. And then the spacing, you're like, 4's too much. How about 3.5? You know, so that's the beauty of and then when you're happy, you just hit enter, and then it commits it. Okay, let's go rotate with copy on from here straight up and then straight over, and there's my lattice. And then I'm going to go ahead and rotate this, so I'm going to go from here straight up 45, enter, and I just kind of put this up here. You can see this, I did it too big, but you get the idea. So if we pick this one right here is my shape, and then I just kind of looked at this and was like, all right, what do we got here? And the beauty of this ring is that really you only have to work on 1/4 of it. Yes, this goes over the 1/4, which is fine, but 1/4 of this ring is really all I'm interested in. And so we can disregard this outside edge. But then basically what I did is I selected this and then just started trimming it. You know, so that I think you get the idea. So, none. None. Okay. So anyway, there we go. Enter. Okay, I missed one, but that's fine. All right, so there's a lattice, and I'm going to go over here and use this one anyway, but there's how the lattice was put on. And let's turn this off and this off. Work on this layer. Okay, I also learned a lot trying to put this one on there, because the way I saw it, what we could do at this point is go to offset and go to T through point, and or you can enter in a value. I mean, there's my value, so now every time I offset, I'm just going to use that same value. And that was a bit thick, but it'll be alright, because we're not going to use this one anyway. Okay. Alright, so there's how that shook out. And let's turn this off and this off. And essentially, to close up the end of these, I just use blend. Go figure. You can use a straight line too if you want. Blend. I think you get the idea. Or you can, if you prefer the hard edge, you can go there. Alright, so let's close these up. Alright, so we go there, we go trim, and we want to be a little careful. Enter, join. Oops. Join. 3 close curves. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Alrighty, so we'll pick our 3 closed curves, and we will go to solid, and we will go to extrude, And we have to decide, does it go just up? Does it go into the finger? Does it do both? Maybe both. And how thick we want it. And I would enter in a number there. How thick did we do that? Let's take about a millimeter or so. But anyway. Okay, so now we select this and we go flow along surface. Rigid equals no is true. And this is where things started to happen that were bad. It's not good. It's like a whack. Alright, because it's, oh yeah, and how about that? If you've ever done a Boolean and seen that, and then that's one that usually gets emailed to us. It is folding over itself. Oh, sorry. Rare. Right there's not real impressive. You just can't take something like this and force it over it like that. You have a much better chance if it's going just from the ground out, in other words from the purple out this way, but it's still, as you can see on the outside, it's still going to warp it. So I still have more to learn about that. As far as that goes. But one thing I did find was that we could do this a bit differently, and that is go to surface and just turn this into a planar surface. Okay, so now it's just flat. Actually, I didn't want it sticking up anyway. I wanted it all going in, but we'll see what we get here. It wouldn't have helped. I've already done it. So we go here and we go flow along surface, and there's the plane, and there's that, and then with just that being just the one surface, it's pretty friendly. Not bad at all. We're going to put Milgrain on top of it anyway, but so at this point, oh, and you know, one other thing that I noticed was that not only do I want to take the surface, but I also want the curves. I want those curves to come with. So we'll flow this one more time. And bank, and alright, and then we'll finish this up, and this will be the end of part 2 here. Okay, so now we have the curve, and what I simply did was, simply is all relative. Here's a trick. It's called elevator mode. If you've taken my advanced class, there's a good chance you've seen it, but we want to extrude to a point, and in this viewport I want the point to be out this way, but I also want it to be kind of up over here. Let's turn off snaps. Kind of up over here. So I go over in this viewport and I hold down Control and I click, and then I come over to a different viewport, and now I can change where that point is, and so I click. Well, maybe I want it like that, actually. That's elevator mode. You get to pick a point here and elevate it, or unelevate it, over there. Okay, so now this and this become join a solid, and now we're gonna cut it. So we bring this back, we mirror it, we join it. No, we're gonna copy it. Let's start this over. Let's make a copy. Control C, Control V, and we'll put one of those on orange and turn my original purple off. I don't want to get rid of that. F4 there. Join surface cat planar. I got that one at least. Okay. At this point, we go to surface, go to loft, this edge, enter. Oh, no, sorry. Loft, this edge to this edge, enter, straight across. You are orange. You are joined. Cat planar again. Picks off that. This is now a solid. At this point, we scale it. I'm going to bring my original purple one out for reference. Transform 2D scale, F4, in. There's the thickness that that's going to be. Okay. This viewport, we 1D scale. You might say, why don't you just 3D scale? Because I don't have as much control with that, so I typically don't do that. And let's move this up a little, and then we'll 1D scale this down. If we want this to come up more, we can detach this top right there and move it up, and then we can loft from this edge to this edge, and then we can loft from this edge, loft, this edge to this, this edge, join. So this is a real roundabout way of doing this, I realize, but this is the best I could come up with at the time. U get Boolean cut by U. Oh, yeah boy. Undo. This has to go down through it. So we will, let's see, let's forget about, let's extract, I see what I did. Let's go extract that surface right there. Delete that. We don't need this one either. Delete. Okay. We will blend this edge to this edge, and then we'll take this and we'll go curve network, this one and this one. Nope, not enough curves. Let's do from edge curves right here. There we go. Alright, so all this join. Oh, it's already joined. Mirror this to the other side. F4. Join. Orange. Cat planar. Unable to cap that, of course. Oh, it didn't get joined. Join. Now cat planer. Thank you. You get cut by you. Holy cow. Oh. I know what I did. No, I don't know what I did. Oh. You get the idea. If I just build this thing, here's what happened also. I need to get all these and cut them with this. I wasn't cutting the inside shape either. There we go. See? And I wasn't sticking out far enough out here. But where is that? Oh, I don't have it yet on this one. So anyway, there's how the lattice was made. Let me call up another model here, and I'll show you. Let's see what this job bag has. It's going to have more in it, but alright, so there's how we all got up to this point. And here is one lattice work completed. Blended ends, okay, didn't matter. Okay, and then over here I drew a box starting at F4 that came out this way and then went out this way, and I hacked that thing right down the middle with the Boolean, so it did that. And then over here, here's what I did. If you look, my lattice work went into the flower. It went right through it. So what I did, what I did is I sat and looked at where that intersected it, and I simply drew a shape, just followed the flower. You know, I pretty much went like this, real loose, like that, and then I went out and around. And then I took that and I extruded it like that. And the reason I did that was to cut that lattice work right there. So watch, if I delete this, you can see it got cut. I didn't want that invading my flower. The last thing I did was I extruded this one out like this too, and I cut the finger into the lattice work because it went into the finger. That's how I got to that point. This just lived. It just goes right up on into this top part right here that we're going to make next. Okay. Alright, there's the end of part 2.